Well, Norrie, thank you very, very much for agreeing to make this little film in Thomas Hardy's study, in the Dorset Museum. All of this is from Max Gate, and it seems very fitting as a setting for you. The manuscripts were originally owned and collected together by Harry Tilley, who was one of the kind of star players of the Hardy players at the time. How important do you think it is to get these manuscripts back to Dorchester?
I think it's very important, because really those manuscripts belong to the Hardy players right through from when they really started till they were disbanded in 1924.
Tell me more about Harry Tilley. He adapted the books for the stage, didn't he?
Yes, he did, with Hardy. Of course, he didn't do Tess of the D'Urbervilles. That was Hardy's own adaptation.
And Harry also made the scenery and all that stuff.
Yes, yes.
Tell us a bit about that. Was there one that stood out?
He was a very, very clever man, and just fitted into what Hardy wanted. I mean, Hardy trusted him completely. Always welcomed at Max Gate.
Do you remember any piece of scenery particularly that he made?
Oh, yes, I do. There's a Stonehenge.
He built Stonehenge on stage?
No, they had the scenery for it. No, they had the scenery.
Because, of course, Stonehenge plays a part in Tess, doesn't it?
Yes.
What must be very interesting for you about these papers and manuscripts and programmes and all the rest of it is that among them are the 1913 programmes for the 1913 production of The Woodlanders, but also programmes for Tess.
Yes.
And I imagine that you're looking forward to seeing those again.
Yes, I am. I am.
Such memories. Your sister Gertrude, of course, knew Thomas Hardy very well, because, of course, it was Harry Tilley who brought her to Hardy's attention, wasn't it? He saw her in a play.
Yes, he saw her in one of the Castlereagh plays. She played an old man, actually, and he thought she could act. And he introduced her to the Hardys.
I'm rather interested to know, because Hardy has quite a complicated reputation. He wasn't gregarious, and he doesn't seem to have been tremendously social. Did Gertrude really like him?
She admired him from the point of view of what should I say, his genius.
But was he easy? Did she find him easy or not to get on with?
Yes, she did. She found he was a, what should I say, rather remote sort of man. You know, he would just stay in absolute silence. But when it came to demonstrating any of the dances, he would actually get up and dance.
Oh, I love that. I love the image of that.
Yes.
And we know, don't we, that Hardy was very fond of Gertrude. He liked her.
Yes, he called her the impersonator of Tess. I think, actually, to him, she was Tess.
Tess was a sort of combination of your mother and your sister, wasn't she, really?
Yes. He definitely said that he must have seen my mother. And I think it was a kind of reincarnation for him.
Did she have to go for an interview when she first was taken on by the Hardy players? Did she have to go and have an interview with him?
She went for an interview at Max Gate, way back when the Woodlanders were produced, which was 1913.
Can you remember what you performed?
Yes, I was a damsel in the Queen of Cornwall, and I played Liza Lou in Tess. I also understudied the whole thing because she then was in Bedminster and the rehearsals were held in Dorchester. So I knew the part by easily by reading it through. Right at the end, he called me to him and he said, I haven't given Liza Lou much to say, have I? Well, I think that was an understatement, because actually all I had to do was to rush across the stage, throw myself in my sister's arms and say, oh, Tess, Tess. That was all. Then he asked for my script and he wrote down, I'm so glad you've come home. And then he looked at me with a twinkle in his eye. I can see him now, plain as anything. And he said, that's better, isn't it? That's the Thomas Hardy I remember.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes.
Gertrude performed in London, didn't she?
Later, to sell Mrs. Hardy's conscience.
Tell us a bit about the wrecking of her trip to London by Mrs. Hardy.
Well, in 1924, she was due to go to London. Mrs. Hardy, by that time, had become insanely, and I say insanely, jealous. She was imagining the most horrible things about her husband regarding my sister. And it was all in her imagination. And she went to Bedminster, unknown to him, and kept on to my sister to write a letter saying that she could not take the part of Tess. That was in 1924. Eventually she gave in and she wrote to Thomas Hardy and to the London producers. And she wasn't content with that. Mrs. Hardy then disbanded the Hardy Players entirely. That was why the Hardy Players fell through.
But then, in 1928, Thomas Hardy died.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that, how you felt and how everyone felt?
We all went to Stinsted. And in those days, everybody wore black. And I don't remember much the fact that everybody was in black. Otherwise, I don't remember much of the service or anything, really. I was too young, I suppose, to really be interested in. I wasn't very keen on going to funerals anyway.
But now you have revived the Hardy Players, the new Hardy Players, and that must be rather satisfactory.
I'm glad I've lived to do that.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I'm very, very glad I've been able to do that. I feel it's a kind of I can't quite express what I feel, but it's to do with Mrs. Hardy, because I didn't like her. Don't think I'd better say. No.
So, Norrie, tell us what you're looking forward to next.
I'm very much looking forward to Tess. I hope that they'll keep the same ending of Tess as it was done in 1924.
Because that's going to be the production of the new Hardy Players in 2011, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
I must show you this. This is the pen with which Thomas Hardy wrote Tess.
Yeah.
Do you see how he puts the name on the end there? You hold
Yes.
it, make a link with the past.
Yes.
It's rather fantastic to think of that, isn't it?
Of course, there weren't typewriters then, were there? Oh,
Wonderful.
oh man.
That was marvellous, Norrie. I'm really, really so pleased
Yes.
you were able to do that. Terrific.
Yeah.